Uh, Rex, Constitutional Convention is not even an issue yet. Now, it was 31 6 years ago and was up till now. But it seems that all the candidates for governor has adopted the constitutional issue, and that is one that I've used all the time. And of course, I've run on all the time and helped bring it apart, bring it here. But I hope it passes. I hope every candidate adopts it. I'm proud of it, and I think Constitutional Convention will go over. There's one and only issue, and it's been the issue ever since in this very chamber right here. I announced there was 3 branches of government. After the proper salutations, I started off with the legislature, which is number 1, the executive, which is number 2, and the Supreme Court is number 3. Each checks and balances the other. I just learned that in college. You know, there was a majority of the lawyers in the legislature then, and they took that to heart. And they set up a block. And the block lasted for 4 years and never got anything through but the hospital bill and the regular appropriations and so forth. Now, that is the issue right now. There's 3 branches of government, and if we don't bring them about, the nation is going to be destroyed, one way or another. The people are not going to stand for another war, and it's just well to get rid of it. This nation is based on 3 branches, and 3 branches is coming back. And these people that say it's not are wrong. That's the issue, the number 1 issue. Fact is, it's the only issue. Well, is what started the ruination of our nation. And the ruination of our nation continued by lawyers for each war right on up to this last war, which was, sure enough, ruination. $2,500 a year. And I got more accused, double headlines of stealing than any man in the history of this state. Now, if I'd gone home with several mansions and this and that and the other and everything, why, I'd have been a great hero to the people of Alabama. I mean, to the people, big shots of Alabama. But I wouldn't have been a hero to that little fellow down there in the branch head that's had to pay for it.
If you don't make the law.
Well, that's one of those things where you cross the bridge when you get to it. I'm not figuring on that issue at all. I'm just not figuring on it. Because the people of Alabama are not going to put 2 lawyers in the runoff.
Who do you expect to be in the runoff?
Me?
And who?
Another non-lawyer.
Governor, you said you've seen a lot of dictatorships.
Well, I tell you what I think about them. The last time I was elected, I didn't even respect them. I wouldn't go to the annual meeting they have down there, the teachers' meeting, where all the other candidates for governor was hogging to get in. I don't respect the hierarchy. I don't respect the hierarchy in the AEA. I don't respect the hierarchy of the AEA. That little handful is stealing the state line. Kick back, hit parade. That was 4 years ago. I haven't been doing that now, this time. I just having press conferences around. And it's the folks, they have my record. I'm running on that record. And I'm not bragging, but it's the best record that's ever been presented.
If it's a mistake for old age pensions, hospitals, and roads, and so forth, building more roads than any other governor in the history of this state, then I'm guilty. If it's a mistake of leadership of building more bridges in this state, free bridges I'm talking about, than any other governor, I didn't quite, me and Uncle Bill Gray's greatest governor ever lived in my book. He built as many as I did, of my administration, his did, but most of his was toll. Mine was free. And I've got him beat right there, the late, great Bill Gray. Got him beat there, but if that's a mistake of leadership, then I'm guilty. If initiating 4 lanes between county seats and going to build them this next time with a special road program, if that's a mistake of leadership, then I'm guilty. If it's a mistake of leadership of calling 5 special sessions for reapportionment before the federal government forced us to, starting 15 years ago, just now starting to force us to do it, if that is a mistake of leadership, then I'm guilty again. If it is a mistake of leadership to do this, to be for Harry Truman when this state was disfranchised from voting for the President of the United States, raised money for him, me and 2 other governors, only 2 of us for him in the country. If that is a mistake, then I'm guilty. Now we are going to get free textbooks, whatever the cost and whatever the charge. Now here's a biology book. It can be printed for 40 cents. And here's a regular textbook that I bought 4 of them, and they cost $18.05. I've got all 4 of them down here, the various things, economics and so forth. There's the 2 books. Now whatever the cost, if we can get this one at 40 cents, we're going to get it at 50 cents and let the children have them free of charge. If we're going to give free textbooks, let's give them all the way through school and make it a requirement that they be free. Won't take much money. You can take some of the, I had the money and to time they overrode my veto, and that's one of the main platforms I'm running on. Free textbooks through the high school grades. Since there's a lot of gravy in that textbook business, come here, John. Bring me that old ham sack. There's a lot of gravy in ham, and I'll sell a few hams. Now here, there's gravy in the road business. I noticed the 4-lane highway to Childersburg. Right where my contract had ended, that's where I went out of office, that's where the road stopped. And right where I'm going back in office, that's where it's going to start again, that 4-lane highway. Not only that, old Big Jim's going to carry all the way into Birmingham, I'll tell you that right now. My 4-lane program between county seats, that's a part of it. Now there's gravy in the textbooks. There's too much gravy going somewhere. We want to put it back on the roads, schools, hospitals, and so forth. Now I've always paid my way around. First time a sud bucket, second time a toll bucket. Now it's a ham sack. The next time it'll be the old oaken bucket. I'll be old enough then. Thank you. Free lunches. Free lunch. Hello, George. How you do? Free lunches for all the school kids going to school between the grammar school right on up through high school. And I'll tell you the reason for that, and I'll tell you how we're going to finance it. They'll say it can't be done. They said the same thing about old age pensions back yonder when I was running on $50 a month. But it can be done, and I'm going to tell you how we'll do it. They're giving food away all over the world, and they've been doing it for 30 or 40 years. The way to give that food away is they take your tax money that we pay taxes for and buy up the surplus farm products, and we send it all over the world to feed hungry people, and I'm for feeding people when they're hungry, regardless of who they are. And right on the other hand, all of that surplus food is available in the United States. It's available for the schools. And whatever it takes, and we can do it by efficiency means. I know we can do it without any new taxes because we're not going to do that. Just a lot of things need to be done with our school system, and as much money has gone in and is laying up there rusted, we are going to use it to buy free school lunches with. We started off together 20 years ago. We accomplished a lot. The young people that we've helped start off, every one of them done well. The things that we've accomplished among the young people and the old people, in remembrance of them that passed on, who helped us get started, to get all of this developed. I can assure you that Alabama is busting at the seams to really make progress in the role of industrial development, progress in every field. We debated the issues in this state. It's now time for us to peacefully sit down and work to realize the benefits. And will you do this? Will you please remember when you read this that my established opposition has worked night and day for years. They have done everything they could in their power to discredit me. Well, that's all right. I don't mind if discrediting me. But I still was for constitutional convention and old age pension and those things. And of our mailbox road program, you've got so many down here now, till I don't know whether you need any more or not. But we'll just improve on what we have got. And if there's any more needed, you look out to me. I'm the fella to come and see about it. I'll be visiting down here with you. And we just all get together and build one where it's needed. That's the way we've always worked it with your local representatives. That's no great problem, but what money we spend, it's going to be spent where it will benefit a lot of people. But I've always worked on the philosophy as I worked over here with One Arm Will, one of the best lumber stackers in the state. I stack lumber with him by the thousand. We always figured Saturday night as payday. My program ain't finished yet. If you elect me governor, I'll figure Saturday night's my pay, and maybe they'll give me a pension like I needed back yonder when I thought I was going to die. And your money will be spent wisely. You can rest assured of that.
Y'all have seen them around, I know. You got enough for everybody? The limit was 6 feet and 4 inches, and I was 6'7.5".
What are you now? Is that the Navy Academy?
6'8.5". I grew an inch after I put in the application for it.
6'8.5".
Mm-hmm. 6'8 1/4", something like that. Got it?
I tell you, another thing, I had an understanding with the commanding general of the 31st Division, Mr. Joe Langley, that when I was in the Guard, I was known as private, horse artillery, I was known as private first class. There wasn't no PFC then. And I wanted to stay first class, and there ain't no corporals at first class.
They don't have first-class corporal do the bill.
I don't know, it's a long time ago.
And I would agree for him to be the commanding general if he agreed to let me stay first-class private first class. And, you know, little as you might think about it, and old and old. They used to kid me about that. That's right.
One thing, Governor, what about your future plans? Political ambitions other than the governorship, how about...
None. You couldn't send me to Washington for all the money in Washington. I just wouldn't send my family up there, much less go myself. So, none whatsoever. None.
Governor, in your term has come to an end. What would you consider some of the major accomplishments during your administration?
What is it?
About the state docks.
What about the state dock?
Seems the local papers in Mobile seem to be criticizing the administration of the docks.
And the state docks, I think there was a statement come out, they had a profit of $74,000 in November.
Well,
Thank you, gentlemen.
thank you very much.
What is it?
Rex by about 40 years.
Off the record now. Cut it off.
Novel parade. I believe some participated in yours, and they have. You think that's a... Yes, I didn't get the last. Invited
As
to
what,
participate.
They would be invited to participate, Negroes in the various counties of Alabama, which constitute 1/3 of our population, would be invited to participate in the inauguration parade as before. And that means 2 administrations. Whose commission is this?
One is the legislative legislature.
Commission probed mainly in regard to the fact that 5 state registrars that refused to testify and show their records, along with Circuit Judge George Williams.
Well, yon's the answer right yonder. All the brothers she had is living at that time got killed.
You will give a message to the outgoing legislature.
Report of my stewardship. That's right.
That will be in writing.
That's right. Be in writing.
Things,
Well, it doesn't become the incoming governor's duty, I mean the outgoing governor, to make a recommendation. He makes a report. And that's not a business session, that's just to receive the governor's report and not his recommendations. Receive his report and not his recommendation to organize the legislature. That's all
that would be generally true. You will
canvasser's terms. What?
you'll make no recommendations of any kind then.
No, just a report. That's what the Constitution provides, I believe.
Your comment about the threat to integrate Montgomery School sometime this year.
But she enlisted before I was ever inaugurated governor. I didn't know anything about it. This thing come up.
Governor, how about the next 4 years on the integration and segregation scene here in Alabama?
Well, that's not my responsibility, and therefore I can't make no authoritative statement on it. I assume no responsibility where I don't have the authority.
In your campaign 4 years ago, Governor, and since then you have said that as long as you were governor, there would be no, I believe you put it, little colored boys and girls only going to school with the white boys, and something to that effect. You wasn't going to make them go to school with us. Would you recommend that same strategy be followed in the years ahead?
I can't recommend, because I have not the authority, and therefore I won't assume responsibility.
You say you had no cases in court. Wouldn't the test case on the Placement Act, would that be considered a case in court?
Well, off the record, you talking about Shuttleworth stuff, John.
I remember this one, I know. I remember Joe's mama. Joe's mama and Totsy Bird. You heard her talk about Totsy, didn't you?
I know something real well.
Yeah. I remember Joe's mama and Totsy Bird and old, was a giggling. They had the giggles in about the 8th grade. Hartwell Boyd, he's now a doctor in Atlanta, was teaching us science. And his mama and Totsy Bird got the giggles. Old Hartwell sent them out the room and said, everybody's got to go up Fool's Hill. Yeah, I'm reminiscing, but ought not to do that. But I'm having these all duplicated and sent to all the members of the high school class. I've got one of most of the members, every one I could get.
Governor, do you have any comments to make about the current, do you have any comments to make about the current suits in the Gulf Shore State Park and Mobile Causeway at all, involving the Conservation Department?
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a minor routine matter. I don't intend to get in the damn little arguments. I might get the big ones, but I don't intend to get in the little ones. As far as the Causeway rent,
Tell me, I wound up 4 more years in office. How you stand up under it? Second 4 years.
oh, I've enjoyed it.
You wasn't as rough as you
And I want to say this much about Governor Patterson.
What about 4 years from now, sir?
Not a candidate.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
Governor, 4 years ago, you had some part, some people say large, some say small, in electing Roy Mayhall chairman of the State Democratic Committee. And we got another hassle that you're probably familiar with going on right now. Governor Patterson wants Sam Engelhardt.
Are you saying, in other words, Governor, that incoming Governor Patterson has the right?
I've made this statement before. The governor's race in the governor's office in Alabama is a young man's game. Having held the office 2 terms and about 15 or 16 sessions of the legislature, I just believe I've done my share. I'm like President Hoover on that now. I think I've done enough. And I just strictly want to devote my time to my business and my family from here on out. He couldn't do it legally, but if it could be done, it'd be the finest thing that ever happened to me. He could do it for the future, but not, you can't pass retroactive legislation.
Well, do you think it's, aside from that, do you think it's a good measure?
Oh, yeah, that's all right, sure. If he could legally do it, why, it'd be the best thing that ever happened to me. I never have thought this before, but at this setting, I'm honest about it. I don't think I could be elected to anything. Oh, I have said that before. I said one time I couldn't be elected dog catcher. But I don't think any time in the near future I could be elected to anything. So that's not even a consideration.
Well, I wouldn't consider anything unless I amend the insurance laws, of which we got a committee working, and I wouldn't consider a special session then unless I was assured of some cooperation in carrying it out. See, this legislature initiated a reform in the insurance laws of Alabama, bringing them up to date, of course, and it would be proper for them to put it on the statute books if we assured of some cooperation in getting it through. I wouldn't want to call them in and have a long filibuster with some technicality or something like that. Well, I don't think anybody in the United States is surprised at it. Do you? Well, that's all I'd say. I don't think anybody in the United States is surprised about this Montgomery streetcar decision. And I don't think anybody in the United States is going to be surprised of any other court case of that nature. Period. That's all I got to say about it.
Decision, of course,
Well, I've got one policy, and I've stuck to it religiously. It's to work with the Negroes and the white leaders, Negro leaders and the white leaders who want a solution to the problem. It's to work it out with them. At the present sitting, we have no major problems in Alabama relative to integration. I believe that policy has paid off.
Chairman.
Well, I will not, shall not, and think I should not take any active part in it. But when Bill Graves went in as governor, it was my policy. I mean, I just thought that he ought to name his pro tem. I have a say-so in the name of his pro tem, his speaker, and his chairman. Frank Dixon went in, I thought the same thing. When Governor Sparks went in, I thought the same thing. When Governor Folsom went in, I thought the same thing. When Governor Persons went in, I thought the same thing. When Governor Folsom went in again, I thought the same thing. And I see no reason why it should change. Well, the road program, the old age program, the education program, I'm counting two of them. See, I've tripled the appropriation in my two administrations for education, 30,000 to 100 and something thousand. Retiring those carpetbag bonds, leaving the general fund in the best shape that any governor's ever left it. The expansion of the state docks. The river development program is certainly of major importance. I have finally concluded in my two administrations the Civil War. There's a lot of people, both north and south, still arguing about the poor old Negro. Well, that's out of my category and jurisdiction. I have no authority. I accept no responsibility. No, I don't have any comments as far as Governor Patterson is concerned. I'll say this. Let me see. If I were being inaugurated governor, the Negroes and
the various counties of Alabama would be entitled to, invited to participate in the inauguration as D0. Period, question mark. What? He said some mighty nice things before the Southern Baptist Convention about me, while he's in attendance up there, or the Alabama Baptist Convention. And I want to say this, that I appreciate them very much. Strictly legal is official business. I thought the state should be represented. I represent them. And if I could have gone on military planes, I guess. There's 10 or 15 goes over there every day from Mobile, New York, everywhere else. I think you will find that the crowd that's raised so much hell the last 12 years about me riding military planes, and I could have rode over there free of charge on all of it. There's the same crowd that'll be raising the devil about me going on official business in a civilian capacity in place of a military capacity. Same crowd. In other words, it just all depends on which side the ox is being gored on, whether it's my side or the other side. That's all. Well, those things are hard to evaluate. It's worthwhile as far as I was concerned, and I believe as far as the state is concerned too. Of course, we've had this plan for a year about it, I guess. Ever since we first noticed, given notification, and I accepted. Was going on to the Holy Land. We was advised not to go, so we just had to stop there in Europe, Eastern Europe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Most enjoyable part of the trip, we spent 3 or 4 days in Ireland. Ireland, about the only republic over there. It's got its feet on the ground, if it is in a republic.
Why do you say that?
Well, France is a republic, but they change governments every 30 days. And as I've told the press before, and all of you, that we anticipated a loss in tonnage 2 years ago when the railroads began to lose tonnage. And the Pennsylvania Railroad has paid a dividend every year since 1843. And they anticipate not being able to pay one this year. If that tonnage is off that much, it's just natural that the state docks is going to be off too. We got her in the black, and we're going to keep her there. Let them rave, rant, and roll. I served 6 years in the horse artillery. They didn't have it mechanized, but I'd done serve my 6 years. Now, what do you think about that? How about that?
Yeah, but
It shows how old I am.
Yeah, but you made the statement one time that you got in a little early, too, Governor.
Well,
18 years old.
what was getting it for perjury? I think it's 14. Believe me. I know one thing. My voice hadn't changed and didn't change till I'd been in there about 2 years. You know, they used to count off back then by squads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right on down the line. And I was always number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Any comment on the closing of the Montgomery City Park?
My record is clear on the state dock.